We are approximately 2 days away from the newest episode of Dragon Ball Super, and in today's discussion, guys, me and GeekListTV are going to be discussing the possibility of having the God of Destruction Beerus combat the likes of Black Goku in Dragon Ball Super. Now, again, guys, this is going to be an opinionated video, so if you guys have any theories of your own or speculations of your own to state, drop them down below because this video is specifically only going to cover Beerus taking on Black. Now, Mr. GeekList, I have a few questions for you. Now, I actually went back to rewatch some of the previous Dragon Ball Super episodes, and in case you guys haven't kept up with the latest episodes, I highly recommend you guys to go ahead and watch them before watching this video because this video will contain loads of spoilers. But having to go based off of the previous episodes that we saw prior to Black's introduction, we do have an understanding that Beerus has kept and was ultimately sidelined throughout the God of Destruction tournament, in which case he was itching for a fight for such a long time, even putting on a fake Monaka suit just to get that fight feel out of his system, because he was itching to fight someone, and in fact he fought Goku, and I think that was a very good foreshadowing as to what's to come. Now, I wanted to ask you my first question. Now, as we continue with Dragon Ball Super and as the episodes roll on by, do you believe that at some point Beerus is going to have that opportunity to get that, fight itch out of his system by actually combating someone like Black? Or do you believe that, yet again, Beerus is going to be sidelined for other characters like Vegeta and Goku and possibly future Trunks and other characters to have their crack at Black Goku? Because thus far, I don't think that we're going to get to see Black Goku fight up until episode 50, because we do have an understanding that he will use that ring that was on his finger to travel throughout time. So we do see him make an appearance in episode 49, and I think that's momentarily before, it cuts off. So I think that the preview to him showing up was actually towards the end of the episode. Again, we're just going based off prediction here. So I do think that the actual battle between him and everyone else is going to commence during episode 50 and beyond. But at some point during this arc, can you actually see someone like Beerus stepping up? And if you do think that Black will fight Beerus, how exactly do you think that will turn out? Because we have an understanding that the gods of destruction are supremely powerful. Even in comparison to the Super Saiyan gods that we have thus far, they're still, head and shoulders above everyone else. So if Black does encounter Beerus and they actually do get to throw down, in your opinion, how do you see that fight going about? Because I think that at some point we will have somewhat of a glimmer of Beerus getting involved and possibly throwing down with Black. But I wanted to get your 2 cents on this first before I start, stating my opinion on the matter. So, do you think Beerus will fight Black Goku during this arc?
No, I just want to say thank you for having me. It's
always, brother.
And yes, I believe he will fight in this arc. We haven't seen him fight in a while. We just had that tournament. And if I'm wrong, guys, correct me. I don't believe he's gonna fight in the next Omniverse tournament because I believe the gods aren't allowed to fight in that either. So he's fighting in this arc. I'm telling you,
without a doubt.
He has to fight in this arc, and presumably he's gonna be Black, unless that green looking Kaioshin ends up being evil, then he'll most likely fight that. I'm not too sure, but he's fighting in this damn arc. I know he is. He has to. And if he does go up against Black, if the hype around Black is who knows, man. I can see it going many different ways, but I've always wanted to see a rematch between Goku and Beerus, but it's like seeing the relationship they've kind of I don't know, they've kind of garnered,
formulated. Yeah, I mean, and plus we saw foreshadowing during the Universal Tournament when Goku had no other choice but to use the Kaioken technique, in which case he stated, you guys can go back and watch it for yourselves if you guys don't believe it, he stated to hit that he was actually trying to perfect that technique and use it against Beerus because he was hoping for a rematch. So obviously he was training this entire time to see if he can catch up to someone like Beerus. But we got to see somewhat of a little glimmer of them fighting. Now, some people in the comments way back when were saying, wow, isn't it crazy how Goku is actually able to keep up with Beerus under Monaka's suit in base form? You have to also keep in mind that Beerus was also suppressing his power quite a lot, actually, because he didn't want to reveal who he truly was under that suit. So I think that if Black Goku or Black were to fight Beerus, I think that this would actually be in Beerus' favor. Now, some people might say, well, how do you figure that? Given the circumstance thus far and seeing what Beerus is capable of, not to toot his own horn, but he is very, very powerful. And if Akira Toriyama stated that he doesn't plan on making Vegeta or Goku surpass the gods relatively yet, that just leaves me to believe that at some given point, I think that Black will definitely give Beerus a much better fight than Goku did. But towards the end of it, however, I think that without any transformations, Black being in his current form, I think that he would definitely give Beerus quite a little bit of trouble, but I think that Beerus would ultimately come out on top. Now, unless Black is hiding somewhat of a transformation, which is kind of questionable because how can he also transform if he despises Saiyans? It kind of contradicts itself because he was pretty much talking trash to Trunks, telling him, oh, your Saiyan race is so proud, and what a wonderful day to pick off the final one and just kill him off and stuff. It was foreshadowing the fact that he despises Saiyans. So how could this creature taking the form of Goku's body or Goku's appearance, learn of a transformation that also has to do with a Saiyan? We don't know. People have been talking about Super Saiyan White. It's possible. It really is. But let's say, for example, that this Black character does possess transformations. Hypothetically speaking, of course. Let's say, for example, Black fights Beerus and Beerus beats down Black in his base form. And then that actually leads to Black transforming into a different transformation, a higher transformation. Where do you see that fight carrying on after that? Because given the circumstance that the only character or characters that we saw be able to give Super Saiyan Blue a run for their money was Hit. Hit was the only one. If you want to even include Beerus when he fought the red form Super Saiyan God, fine. Those are the only two characters that we know of right now that can actually go toe-to-toe against the Super Saiyan God and presumably win. So do you think that Black possesses powers that would ultimately trump that of a Super Saiyan God and give Beerus even a greater fight than how Goku did? Or do you think that, once again, Beerus would even trump, the next transformation on whatever it is Black possesses here?
Yes, obviously. I do believe Black will possess the power to combat a Super Saiyan God and even maybe combat Beerus. And to go back to our past videos where people chewed me out for saying that Black would be weak, no, I meant that he would be weak in the first fight and he would gain strength throughout the arc. So yes, I'm sure he would develop some type of transformation. I'm sure he would gain power some way, somehow, mutation, absorption, some way, somehow. And if he does end up beating Beerus, I'll be fine with that because we haven't had a villain come in and just swoop everybody in a minute. Because you had Golden Frieza, who yes was stronger than Goku and presumably way stronger in the anime than in the movie adaptation, because he did stomp Goku in the anime version. I mean, guys, the ROF arc is bad, but go back and watch it. There is a big gap between Frieza and Goku. You could tell. I mean, in the anime version, Golden Frieza was like literally kicking Goku around.
Now, people are gonna ask, well, like, how is that true when we saw Goku pretty much turn the tides on him? Well, if you actually pay attention to the ROF movie, it was stated by both Goku and Vegeta that Frieza allowed his new transformation to pretty much wear him out. So, like, he allowed himself to get drained before finishing off Goku. So whether or not Frieza could have actually killed off Super Saiyan Blue Goku's up in the air right now, but I would have to agree momentarily because Golden Frieza was more powerful, I would say, than Super Saiyan Blue momentarily before, allowing the pressure to get to his body, and then that pretty much wore him out because...
But think of what you just said, Alex. Think of what you just said, the line there that you just... literally said stronger than SS Blue, but what happened as soon as Beerus arrived? Frieza shit his pants and was like, Beerus, you know what I mean? So it's like, as soon as Beerus arrived, the tension was cut because Beerus could, like, I'm not sure he could one-shot Frieza, but it seemed like he could beat up Frieza pretty easily, you know what I mean? It literally cut the tension. We need a villain that could, beat up at least Beerus. I'm not trying to say Whis, but at least Beerus to kind of be a threat,
But what does that mean for Goku's motivation then? Let's say, for example, if Black does beat up Beerus, what does that mean for Goku? Because then Goku wouldn't have, I guess you could say, a goal anymore. Because his ultimate goal, and I hate to say it, it wasn't Vegeta. It wasn't surpassing Vegeta because I think at this point, he already surpassed him with the Kaioken form and all of his, maneuvers and stuff. Even looking at the way Goku fought Copy Vegeta, someone who was an exact replicate of Vegeta, he was able to pretty much hold his own and I guess you could say almost seemingly beat him in 3 minutes. So I don't think Goku's ultimate goal was Vegeta. I think his ultimate goal was Beerus. But even if Black Goku somehow beats Beerus, what does that mean for Goku's motivation? I mean, will he have a motivation to continue to get stronger after that, or would it just simply diminish?
I think it could go either way, but knowing Goku, when you look at the original adaptation of Z and how that ended, he still trained even though after they defeated Kid Buu, you know what I mean? I guess he still saw a plateau. People, Gohan was stronger than Goku, so I guess he still saw a plateau to reach, you know what I mean? That he could get stronger himself. So even if Beerus was past, there's still Whis, there's still the Omni King, and plus Goku being Goku, he would still want to train on his own.
Oh, there's no way he's catching up to the Omni King, bro.
Yeah, there's no way he's catching up, but he would still want to train. And plus, when you look back at it, they did say that only Goku and Vegeta wouldn't surpass Beerus. They never said anything about a villain not surpassing Beerus. And if that's the case, if a villain is so powerful that, you know, that gap is there, you know what I mean, that it even passes Beerus and maybe even Whis, and then Goku and Vegeta, you know, they're never gonna catch up to that villain. That's like the all-time strongest villain, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean that Goku and Vegeta have to pass that villain in power. It just means that it took the Omni King to defeat him, you know what I mean? It's like you know, you get what I'm saying? Like, they don't have to get as strong as him, you know? It's like when they go into the next tournament, they don't have to be at that plateau of power. They can just be,
which is going to be very interesting, because everything will be on the line, I think, during the Omniverse tournament. Now, here's the thing, right? Here's the scenario. Why would Beerus even care about fighting Black Goku? I mean, you have to ask yourself that, because thus far, Beerus hasn't given a shit about anything. All he really cares about is ramen noodles, pudding, relaxing, having to be left alone, and pretty much, I guess you could say, troll Goku with Monaka, because he still hasn't told him the truth. So this dude has no motivation to help anybody. He doesn't really give a shit about anybody or anything. All he cares about is himself and food. So what in the world would make someone like that, especially a so-called god of destruction, what would make someone like that step into combat against someone who is presumably enough posing a threat to our heroes? Because thus far, Beerus never really intervened with Frieza. He even told everyone that it's not really his fight. So, with Black chasing Trunks and with everyone else getting involved, technically, this isn't Beerus' fight, right? So, there is a very small part of me, that tells me that, once again, we might be wrong. Beerus might not fight because this is not his battle. If you guys don't believe me and don't understand what I'm saying, go back to the Resurrection F arc movie, the movie and the arc, and pay attention to when Beerus was talking to Bulma. He told Bulma twice. He said, it's not really my fight, it's not my business, I'm just here to eat my sundae, and that's it. If somebody wants to pop off, I'll pop off right back. But nobody really popped off on Beerus, so he had no reason to fight. And plus, Black is he's solely after Trunks. I mean, I'm pretty sure that he may have an understanding as to who Beerus is, but ultimately, is that his goal? Probably not. I think his first and foremost goal is to kill off Trunks, and if anybody else wants to step in to intervene, I think that's going to be a problem for them as well, such as Goku and Vegeta. So, my question to you is, what exactly would make Beerus want to fight in this particular arc? Because you're saying that he's not going to fight during the Omniverse tournament, which is, I agree, because again, if Zeno's going to be involved and he's going to say, you know what, all gods are excluded from the fight, just bring in your own fighters, I can see that happening. But my question to you is, what would make Beerus fight? If this is not his fight, if he doesn't really give a shit, because remember, he's there just to be, just out of curiosity, because he asked Goku, he was like, hey, you know, like, this is really interesting, let me see if I can just show up and, like, stick around and hang out. So, but Toriyama has stated that this is going to involve time and space. It's going to be altering realities, perhaps, because this dude has the ability right now, as we saw during the preview, to just go back and forth in time. So that's pretty scary. So my question to you once again is, what will it take for Beerus to fight? Because this isn't his fight, but what do you believe needs to happen for this dude to, like, you know, finally put his arms down and say, you know what, everybody step aside, it's my turn now? What do you think needs to happen?
Well, there's really only two scenarios. The first one being very highly unlikely, and that is him fighting because Goku and Vegeta get beat down. Now, as you stated before, it's not his fight, but at the same time, in the Universe 6 tournament, while Goku and Vegeta spent time on their planet, they seem to have developed some sort of relationship. You remember that scene where he's like, that's my Goku, you know, and Whis is like, no, he's all mine. Like, they have sort of a relationship there. So if he's witnessing Goku getting beat down even worse than what Golden Frieza did to him, he might step in. I'm not too sure, especially if he's going to destroy the planet where he gets all his food from, you know. So secondly, it's the fact that Black just challenges him. You know what I mean? It's like, if Black just gets highly intrigued that this entity, this god of destruction, is right in front of him, and he just challenges him, you know what I mean? It's like, it could happen. If I remember, wasn't there like an alien species in like the second episode of Super that challenged Beerus?
Yeah, but they had no understanding, I think, as to who he was, so they presumed, like, alright, well, fuck this guy, we're gonna see if we can take him out, and then half their planet got ripped to pieces. So but as for Goku and Vegeta getting beat up and their relationship with Beerus, people cannot take that away. You guys can't take away the fact that Beerus has a much better relationship with them now than before, because during the ROF arc, during the BOG movie, I mean, he really didn't care. I mean, actually, if you pay attention from Battle of Gods to Resurrection F to now, the relationship has improved. I mean, he didn't kill Goku in Battle of Gods. He was there during Resurrection F, but he really didn't do much. I mean, yeah, the god of creation or whatever, Whis, he turned back time. Even he said it himself, wow, the god of destruction being forced to step in and save the planet. What a wacky thing that is. And yeah, the relationship has improved. But if Goku and Vegeta go down, if Trunks goes down, if Gohan goes down, if Boo goes down, and Black does challenge Beerus, how do you, or at least how long do you think that fight will last until someone else steps in the mix? Because we still have Champa and Whis, Champa and Varus, excuse me. We still have those two. Presumably enough, we still have the other Kais and the other gods from the other universes as well. Or maybe this is only just going to involve Universe 6 and 7, because those were the only two universes shown during the previous arc. So I don't think that it would hinder for any other universe to be involved. Not unless, of course, the fight, transpires and makes its way towards Universe 3, 4, 5, and stuff like that. But if Black challenges Goku, or if Black beats down Goku and challenges Beerus, how long do you think that will last until there is a definitive winner, or until Goku and Vegeta get desperate enough to come up with a new strategy? Because lots of foreshadowing to fusion, whether or not they're going to use it or not is unknown. I think the only given time and the only circumstance they will ever use fusion is if they desperately need it. And I think both Goku and Vegeta are very prideful for that. But if Black challenges Beerus head-on, one-on-one, because he's intrigued, do you believe that he will have the upper hand? Or do you think that Beerus would beat him down, which causes Black to come up with a new strategy to clip that other earring onto someone else? Or maybe he just decides, you know what, since I just got beat, I can't afford to stay here anymore, let me just travel somewhere else, and they're forced to follow him. For example, Black challenges Beerus, Beerus beats down Black, and then Black is like, you know what, you think you're gonna kill me, but let's see if you can catch me before you can do that. So he just disappears, and he goes to Universe 6, and Whis looks at his staff. He's like, alright, well, this dude got away, I don't know where he is, but according to my knowledge, he seems to have traveled somewhere else, that being Universe 6. So maybe Whis contacts Varus, and he's like, listen, be very cautious of this dude. He's in your universe. We're going to get there shortly, so just be aware. So do you think that that's going to happen, or do you think that the Universe 6 characters are going to show up in Universe 7? Because I can definitely see them going to Universe 6 to follow this guy, because if he loses, why would he want to risk staying there and dying? I'm pretty sure he's going to formulate a plan to run away and possibly, rethink his strategy here. Similar to Super Buu, because when Super Buu was losing to Gohan, when he blew himself up, that was only a diversion that caused him to buy himself some time to, come up with the absorption technique. So what do you think here?
Yeah, I can see that happening. I guess to answer your first question, if he does challenge Beerus, or they do interact and get into a fight, then it can go many different ways. If I still stand by my theory that this is still the beginning of the arc, and I still think that he's not that strong yet, so he'll probably lose, or he could surprise us and have these awesome transformations right off the bat and whoop Beerus, which it doesn't really matter to me, bro, because I just want to see Beerus fight. Beerus is a beast. I was reading the manga, and I was because the whole controversy of the latest chapter. So I went back and I was reading some of the older chapters, and I was reading that one, you remember, where they had SSJ3 Gotenks challenge Beerus, and he caught him with 2 fingers and defused him.
Yeah, he spanked him out of his fusion. It was ridiculous. Bro. It was quite scary, actually.
That's beast, bro. Think about that, guys. Beerus is a beast. SSJ3 Gotenks with 2 fingers, bro. That is huge. So Beerus is a beast. So to see him fight, it's always a pleasure to watch him fight. It's always cool. He's just a badass to me. One of my favorite characters in Super, and one of my all-time favorite characters. So just to see him fight and interact with Black would be awesome. But it could go either way. I could either see, but I do see your plan happening though. Your prediction, that would be pretty cool to pull a Super Buu, and then it kind of becomes like a sort of like a cop and robber chase, you know what I mean? Like they're chasing up their universes, and that's how it involves the gods. Because you remember, gods of destruction, plural, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What if it isn't just Champa? What if it's other gods? You know what I mean? And that's how they introduce us to the gods that we're gonna see in the Omniversal tournament. So that would be pretty cool to see Black be jumping from universe to universe.
I can definitely see Champa kind of getting cocky, and he's like, well, the winners of the tournament can't even handle their own problems, so now I have to step in to handle it for. I can definitely see him being like one of those like fat, like in self-entitled kind of characters. He's like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, are you are you asking for my help? I mean, oh, look at that, the mighty Beerus and his golden team, like they just went down. Like how did that happen and stuff? I can definitely see him kind of making fun of everyone, like just saying, oh, I mean, what happened? Like you guys were like fucking on top, and now you're asking for my help and stuff. So I can definitely see Beerus and Champa get into another argument over this, because perhaps maybe this character is getting stronger and he's learning throughout each battle and stuff. But leave your thoughts down below, guys, if you guys believe that Beerus will indeed fight. If you guys think that he won't fight after this during the Omniverse tournament, because now that I think about it, during this grand tournament, I don't think gods are allowed to fight either, similar to the Universal tournament. So if there's ever a chance for Beerus to fight, or at least like ease his tension and like, you know, just satisfy his needs to fight, I think this would be it. But if you guys have any other theory or opinion of your own, just drop it down below. So Mr. Geeklist, any final words before we go?
Your commenters are probably thinking, man, these two dudes really want to see the Universe 6 fighters get involved, don't they?
No, seriously, I like, the only thing that I really wish for is I really wish that Whis and Varus were to fight, because those two, we've never seen them do anything. I mean, yeah, we saw Whis, the way he fought Goku and Vegeta, and if you guys recall, he was able to beat the crap out of them and just stop all of their attacks with just simply 2 fingers. That's how powerful Whis is. I mean, people can't deny that. Go back and watch some of the training videos that Whis did with Goku and Vegeta several times, actually, to where he was able to not only outmaneuver them, but he had his eyes closed the entire time, and he was able to stop them with just 2 fingers, and that's scary. I mean, even though they were in base form, still doesn't take away the fact that even if they were SSBs, I think that Whis would ultimately try a little harder, because yeah, I mean, they just increased their power tremendously, so obviously I think Whis would have to step it up, but either way, they weren't able to touch him. So leave your thoughts down below, guys. Once again, thank you guys for watching. If you guys are fans of Dragon Ball Super, if you guys cannot wait for the latest episodes, punch that like button right in the face, but don't punch it too hard, because you guys might send my friend Geeklist back into the past and stuff, and we don't want that to happen. We want to keep him here in the future, so subscribe to him, everybody, if you guys haven't. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, drop your thoughts down below. If you guys haven't subscribed to this channel, and we'll be seeing you all down in the comments below. Take it easy, guys. Peace.